Hello learners, welcome to this session. Today we will be talking about environmental pollution and emerging concerns. As we all know, environmental pollution is taking a toll on environment, human health, but there are certain concerns related to environmental pollution which need immediate redressal. Environmental pollution means, as the name indicates, pollution of the environment, adding harmful substances which may be toxic, hazardous, which may have deleterious effect on the quality of air, water, which may impair the health of the human beings, which may interfere with the earth's processes and ecosystem functioning. How do we define environmental pollution? Specifically, it is the contamination of the physical, chemical and biological components of the earth or the atmosphere to such an extent that normal environmental processes are adversely affected. There is a fixed composition of atmosphere. There are water quality standards. The earth's ecosystems have a certain intrinsic nature. Because of natural or man-made reasons, particularly the industrialization, urbanization, or the changes which are taking place because of anthropogenic activities, there is a contamination, there is addition of foreign substances. And when these foreign substances are added into such an extent, into such a concentration that it is not possible for the environment to renew itself, then there comes a stage where there is a prominence of these foreign, harmful, toxic substances that the normal functioning of the ecosystem is affected, the quality of the components of the environment gets degraded, and whatever the functions of the environment are related, it has a negative influence on it, and ultimately the health of the human beings is affected. This is all what we are seeing all around. We are one of the most polluted countries of the world. Among the top most polluted cities of the world, many of them are from India. So, there is a serious problem. It needs solutions. We have to think from various angles that how we can solve the environmental pollution problem. The pollution takes several forms depending upon the contaminants in what are being added into what system. You must have heard about these common types of pollution. Say for example, we know about air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, noise pollution, waste pollution, which is an emerging concern of today. Learners, what does it mean when we say that the air is polluted or air pollution is taking place? That means some harmful emissions being released from industries, from thermal power plants, from vehicles, from fossil fuel burning. There is a change in the composition of the air. There may be higher concentration of certain gases, certain particles which are harmful. That state of air is known as air pollution. Likewise, water pollution occurs when in the water bodies we add the effluents coming from the industries, human activities taking place near the ponds, the rivers. Similarly, throwing away of waste in the water bodies. Agriculture contributes to water pollution because of runoff from the agricultural fields which contain high concentration of fertilizers, pesticides which are very rich in chemicals, and these when enter into the rivers or lakes it poses a threat to the aquatic organisms and also changes the physicochemical properties of that water body. So that is water pollution. Likewise, soil pollution or land degradation or land pollution, when we add, because of human activities, some chemicals are being released into the land. There may be addition of fertilizers in agricultural fields. They may be throwing away of industrial waste on the barren land. There may be excessive use of chemicals in agriculture, or it may be our agricultural practices which changes the quality of the land. So innumerable factors, for example, mining significantly contributes towards land pollution. Then noise pollution and waste pollution. So what we want to convey to you learners by this, that the pollution takes various forms depending upon the component which is affected. Now here, one thing you must remember, that pollution or pollutants, they do not know any boundaries. They are not localized. They do not remain under a certain territory, but they always move from one ecosystem to another, from one terrain to another. And that is why when an industrial plant releases harmful gases, so the pollutants are not only restricted to that industrial area, but also they are carried away to far off places. Similarly, when a river is polluted, it ultimately leads to the pollution of the oceans. If the soil is polluted, it may enter into the food chains, it may go into the water bodies, and it may enter the human bodies at last. What is the emerging concern today? What we have to look into this is that check the pollutants at the source. Whether it is the primary pollutant or the secondary pollutant, when they are released into the significant concentrations, significant quantities, they have a tendency that they will be carried away from different places and therefore will pose a threat to the survival of human beings and also will degrade the environment at that particular place. So when we talk about the emerging concerns of environmental pollution, basically learners, we are talking about mainly two concerns. Number one concern is environmental related. We are worried because the state of the environment is in peril, because our hills are denuded, our agricultural fields are full of toxicity, our water bodies are full of filth, plastic, air is a cocktail of harmful gases. So that is the environmental concern, because of environmental pollution, we are not able to restore, and we are seeing that the quality of the environment is getting degraded. And another important concern is health related. Because of environmental pollution, a number of diseases are occurring in human beings, particularly the elderly, the children, people with low immunity are at more risk. We are seeing a surge in the respiratory disorders. We are seeing lot of cancers happening to the people. There is a rise in the certain diseases, and therefore health related issues which are coming up nowadays are attributed because of increase in environmental pollution at all levels. So what are these health concerns and how we can address them, how we can save them, how we can save ourselves? That is very important. So when we say that environmental pollution has an emerging concern, we need to look into both these areas very effectively and in a proper manner. Now let me take you to the environmental concerns of air pollution. Few years before, we were never talked about AQI. These terms are very new but are more in conversations today. We discuss about AQI, that is the air quality index. We know that because of when there is an onset of summers, onset of winters, or when there is a any kind of industrial activity taking place, we say that the air quality index at that place is very high, the quality of the air. So one of the important concern of air pollution is that there is poor air quality index, and because of poor air quality, there are breathing related issues, there are respiratory problems, there are burning sensation in eyes, and there may be so many reasons happening. Similarly, there is a smog and haze formation. It reduces the visibility, it interferes with the normal working, and it also has an effect on birds, it also has an effect on other activities which are going on. And there is a lot of risk happening today because of toxic air pollutants, which are one of the main cause of the smog formation in urban areas. Because we have a high particulate load in the atmosphere released from n number of sources, and when there is a drop in the temperature, what we witness during winter time, these particles are you can say collected together, the wind speed is very low, and because of that there is a clear formation of this smog. And there are a lot of episodes related to smog which have occurred in the past. Learners, you must be aware about the London smog, Los Angeles smog. These are the common incidents which took place at one time, and also led to the high number of casualties, particularly during those times. And in today's times, if we look at the figures and if we look at the statistics, there is no denying that air pollution is responsible for lot of premature births taking place. Millions of children and millions of people every year die because of air pollution. 60% of the global air pollution related disease burden, it can be avoided if proper environmental improvements are made, particularly if we are able to tackle air pollution. We need to think about it, because in the times to come, there will be further deterioration in the quality of the air. There will be more influx of the environmental pollutants coming from varied sources, and with the lower immunity of the people, we are at a greater risk. We will be prone to certain diseases, particularly asthmatic patients. They have a high tendency to be affected by air pollutions in the times to come. Similarly, one of the important environmental concern, if we say, because of environmental pollution and air pollution particularly, is climate change and global warming. We have studied about climate change in our previous sessions. It is one of the important global changes which is taking place, and it is happening at a very high rate because of increase in carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. So, because of the increase in the carbon dioxide which is being released by fossil fuel burning, and also side by side deforestation activities are going on, the result is that there is a high concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere along with the other greenhouse gases, particularly nitrogen dioxide, methane, ozone. They are also released from various sources, and because of which what is happening is that the temperatures are rising. Because of the climate change, the precipitation patterns have been altered, the ecosystems are endangered, the glaciers are melting, there is a rise in the sea level, and altogether the whole landscapes and ecosystems are witnessing a change in their functioning, in their characteristics, because of high temperatures, because of increased natural disasters, and because of lot of changes which are attributed owing to climate change. So, it is an emerging concern. We can say one of the important concern of environmental pollution is that it results in climate change. It causes global warming, the temperatures of the earth are rising, and because of which several changes are taking place in the earth's ecosystems. Another important phenomena which is happening because of pollution is acid rain. Acid rain is precipitation which contains harmful amounts of nitric acid, sulfuric acid. These are the nitrogen dioxide and sulfur dioxide which are released into the atmosphere when the fossil fuels are being burnt. So when they react with the rainwater, they form these acids, and acid rain is a known environmental pollution problem that has a serious effect on the health of human beings, the terrestrial ecosystems, wildlife, aquatic species, and so on. So most of the, you can say, forests in Europe have been damaged because of this acid rain. Therefore, we can say that it also leads to ecosystem damage in one way or the other. So this also is a serious problem which needs redressal. We need to think about it. It is one of the emerging concern which is happening today. Then stratospheric ozone depletion. Ozone has a dual characteristic. It is a pollutant in the troposphere, but it is a lifesaver in stratosphere. Because of the release of chlorofluorocarbons into the atmosphere, this ozone layer which is present in the stratosphere is getting depleted. Learners, you must be aware that why ozone layer is important, because it protects us from the harmful ultraviolet radiations which are coming from the sun. Now, because of release of chlorofluorocarbons, however, now there are alternatives coming. There are substitutes being thought like halocarbons which can, reduce the depletion, and even there are reports that now ozone layer is healing day by day because of the Montreal Protocol, and because of the you can say ozone depleting substances are being banned, and therefore there is a little bit progress. You can say that ozone layer is getting healed up, but however this is one of the emerging concern, because coming in of the ultraviolet radiations from the sun to the earth's surface also has an effect in the temperatures rising and health of the people, increase in the cancers, problems like cataract, ecological impacts. These are very commonly happening because of the depletion of the ozone layer. And indoor air pollution is something which is of equal importance. When we stay indoors, then also we are not safe from air pollution, because indoor air quality is also affected by several factors, and it is said that it can be 10 times more dangerous than the outdoor air pollution. Because of indoor air pollution, the air quality inside the home is also not good. You can see like open fires taking place, unsafe use of fuels, combustion of biomass, even gas stoves and badly insulated wood burning units which are found in the rural areas, poor ventilation, and these are some of factors which are responsible for the bad air inside the homes in the rural areas where people are forced to live in certain conditions. But in the urban areas also there are factors which are responsible for poor indoor air quality, like carpets emit gases, use of paints, household cleaning appliances. We are surrounded by different types of chemicals, you can say, when we are working inside the homes. That also contributes to the poor air quality inside our homes. So there may be tobacco products, dust, mites, building materials, household cleaning, as I said, different type of deos and all, whatever you are using, that also contributes to the indoor air pollution. Similarly, radiation pollution is an emerging environmental pollution concern, because it is the physical pollution of living organisms because of the release of radioactive substances, like especially during nuclear explosions or nuclear weapon production. And there may be several uses of radiations. We find their use in medical purposes and other things, but there are several causes which include research, medical procedures, waste, nuclear power plants, your TVs, computers, radio waves, cell phones. These are some of the sources from which the radiations are coming out, and they may pose health risk, which include loss of concentration and impairment of the functioning of your vital organs, and then So it includes health risks, like some nuclear waste locations have been identified. They also need to be taken care that how we are able to protect ourselves from the radiations which are coming from the various sources. Similarly, we are talking about the concerns of the air pollution, but there are concerns related to water pollution also. If the water bodies are polluted, simply it means that the quality of the water is not good. There may be plastic in it, there may be toxic substances like heavy metals in it, there may be less dissolved oxygen. Because of these factors, the aquatic organisms will not be able to thrive properly, and increase in the amount of these chemicals, it also results that these, because of biomagnification and because the food chains which are operating in nature, there are quite possible chances that these chemicals will enter into the bodies of human beings when we consume them. So if the water body is rich in suppose mercury, and therefore the fishes there will be having mercury content more in them, and when we consume this mercury, when we eat this, these fishes, the mercury also gets transferred to our bodies and may result in certain diseases. And it is very important to see that how water bodies can be checked that no such pollution occurs there. So that is eutrophication, concerns of plastics, because we know that plastic does not disintegrate for millions of years, and there are microplastics formed. These microplastics are there in the air also. The air which we are breathing contains microplastics. The water that we are drinking contains microplastics. So this is going to be a menace in the future. If you're not controlling the use of the plastics, and particularly the disposal of the plastics, if you're not able to check at this stage, then there are likely chances that in future we will be fighting against this evil, you can say, which has a long-term consequences on environment and human health also. Then ocean acidification is an decrease the pH values of the Earth's ocean because of the carbon dioxide. As I said, it is being released because of fossil fuel burning. So when it is in the atmosphere, it leads to global warming, but when it is absorbed by the water bodies, it also reduces the pH because carbonic acid is formed. So one of the important concerns of ocean acidification is that the carbon dioxide levels are higher in the oceans, and it results in the higher concentration of hydrogen ions in the water bodies. And when the water bodies like oceans become too acidic, it has a negative effect on the metabolism, on the physiology of the organisms and the water that is being used for different purposes. So health concerns, as we have said, there may be acute and the chronic health concerns. Environmental pollution may result in acute health concerns, like you may be having a difficulty in breathing, coughing, sneezing, itching of skin, eyes irritation. This generally happens when you are near a polluted site or you are passing through a polluted site. But there may be chronic effects, the long-term effects. For example, if we are exposed to these harmful chemicals on a daily basis, then it may result in chronic effects, like for example certain types of cancers are occurring, abnormalities occurring, lack of concentration is happening, insomnia, that is very common nowadays, depression, nervousness, these are mental health issues happening. Even the physical effects of air pollution are long lasting. And global burden of disease, if we calculate, it is not just that we are sick, but when we are sick we are not able to work, so it also reduces the productivity. It also has a financial implication when employees or certain sector is not working for certain days. So this is the global burden of diseases. So not when you are sick, it also results in so many other factors, and that is the meaning of global burden of diseases. And another term which we commonly use when we discuss the health implications of environmental pollution, that is disability adjusted life years, that how many years of your life you are losing because of the conditions in which you are working or the conditions in which you are living. So premature mortality happening, how many years of your life you are working with the unsuitable conditions like this because of disease prevalence which are happening, epidemics taking place, pandemics taking place. So this is all a chain of events which takes place because of environmental pollution. So we can say that many diseases can be altered because of environmental protection measures and interventions. If they are taken on a large scale basis, we can avoid the occurrence of certain diseases, we can improve the longevity, we can improve the life expectancy, we can improve the quality of life of the people in both rural as well as the urban areas. So according to WHO and United Nations report, it is clearly stated that 24% of the deaths can be avoided if environmental pollution control measures are in place. So we can conclude that environmental pollution is a significant problem. It includes so much. It is alteration in the physico-chemical properties of the environment, and it affects not just the materials or the environment, but it has an effect on the health of the people, on the survival of the people, on the quality of life of the people. So and environmental pollution is linked to other phenomena like climate change, acid rain, ocean acidification. These are things which are very much related, and scientific intervention and participation is required to mitigate the effects of environmental pollution. Thank you.